ladies. That is not... It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
Bro, dude, what? Tonight I found TikTok so haunting that it will scar you forever. Before the video starts, I just want to thank all my channel members for the support. Again, it says around 90% of you guys are not subscribed, so if you're seeing this right now and you're not a part of the famity, hit that subscribe button and join the fam. Let's go.
Are the top 5 worst geographically placed cities in America. Number 5, San Francisco. So the reason that this one is number 5 is because of a couple of things. So first, because it's actually placed directly on top of the San Andreas fault line, which is one of the strongest faults in all of the world and is capable of producing earthquakes that would level any city on this planet. Also, because it's placed on such a tight peninsula, it makes expansion impossible. So San Francisco is as large as it's ever going to get. The only way it could grow is to grow up. Number 4, Miami. Most of the city barely sits above sea level, and then on top of that, it doesn't matter what they do. It is literally made of a substance that is like a sponge. So any water that is around the city gets soaked up by the ground that it's underneath, and so flooding is always happening in Miami. So they predict that in the next 50 to 100 years, Miami will be completely underwater. There's even plans right now to preserve parts of the city and have it as an underwater like museum, basically. Number 3, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona is on this list. I think it's probably the most obvious of all so far because it literally sits within the desert and summers get up to sometimes 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost unlivable. And you think about how were people living in Phoenix in the 1800s and 1700s, and the answer is not very many people were. You ask why did people ever choose to live in Phoenix? It's because it was a good like middle point between going west and the east. Number 2, Las Vegas, Nevada. Just like Phoenix, this is another one, another desert where summers get up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The thing that makes it a little bit worse than Phoenix is there's no natural water sources. Back in the day, there were natural springs. Now Vegas completely depends on the Colorado River, but guess what else depends on the Colorado River? Los Angeles, Denver.
So what happens when that dries up?
The Colorado River is almost completely dried up. Within the next 20 to 30 years, Vegas is not going to be a place where people can live anymore. And number 1, New Orleans. New Orleans is number 1, and it is known around the world as being the single worst example of human infrastructure ever. And it's because of one very simple reason. The entire city of New Orleans is under sea level, and it's surrounded by water on all sides. On one side, it's surrounded by Lake Pontchartrain. On the other side, it's surrounded by the Mississippi River. And then on the other side is the Gulf of Mexico. It's a bowl. Any inconvenience whatsoever, and the city is flooding. What makes it even worse, it's sinking 2 inches a year. So there is a realistic chance that within the next 20 to 30 years, New Orleans ceased to exist anymore, and all of the residents are forced to move inland.
Dude, I was out in Vegas like I think summer of 2024, and it was so hot, bro. It was like 120 degrees. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an island boy, so like for me, I like my palm trees, you know what I'm saying, my water, my ocean view. I don't really like the deserty feel to like Vegas and Arizona.
Why in the world is Elon Musk opening a Tesla restaurant? So apparently today, Tesla just opened their first ever Tesla diner in Los Angeles. Elon Musk is putting the fries in the back. It's a retro style drive-in theater slash supercharger with a full-on restaurant that serves burgers, milkshakes, and popcorn. Now currently there are a ton of people there for the grand opening taking pictures of everything, including the inside of the bathroom, which looks really cool to be honest. But the one thing I want to know, and the thing that nobody's talking about, is if the food is actually good or not. That's what matters here. It's a diner. So last night I emptied my bank account and bought a plane ticket to Los Angeles for tomorrow morning because I'm gonna have to investigate this place myself. I'm gonna wear my suit so that they know this is very, very serious business. So make sure you follow or subscribe to see tomorrow's video.
North Korea just opened one of its first shopping malls for tourists, and it's actually terrifying. From first glance, it might look like a real store, but very quickly you will realize that no one is actually...
This is the purest form of propaganda. For the people, like locals, like we know that it's fake. nobody goes in there to buy something. Like, we know that that's for show. We go to Changmadang, we go to the black market to buy everything.
Allegedly, the North Korean government makes citizens living in Pyongyang walk around the store as fake customers to try and make it look convincing to the tourists. Not to mention most of the boxed items
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
are actually empty, so there is nothing inside of them. For some reason, everything is extremely overpriced even though nobody can afford it, and all of the employees there look like they're scared for their lives.
So the best way that I can actually compare this to is the movie Truman Show. The people that you're meeting, they have been trained months on end for your arrival. Trained to say specific things, do certain things around. So yeah, I don't really recommend going to North Korea at all.
Creepy Row Photos That Keep Me Up at Night Part 65. This photo is posted to Reddit with the caption, "This is a photo taken back when film was the only option. It is of my coworker's great-great-grandma. It was taken by her grandfather as the building was burning down. She had been dead for years at the time, and the area she can be seen in was the kitchen." Follow for more Creepy Row photos.
I learned this today, though you wouldn't have had to tell me twice. If a moose is confronting you, run. That is the tip. Run for your life. Outdoors.org talking about, throw things in their path to try to slow them down while you're sprinting. Good luck. What do you mean? What, you think I have time to throw a tree behind me? It's not giving Black Bear, make yourself big and make sounds. Do not stand there. Get out of Dodge Bay. Run. But what about run? Here is an example. Motion to continue because of moose attack. Oh yeah. Not only is this defendant about to stand trial, he decided to blow off some steam on a snowmobile ice fishing trip and encountered a moose. The moose was aggressive toward the riders, and Mr. Eaton, the hero that he is, confronted the moose and attempted to drive it away. After successfully driving the moose into the woods, Mr. Eaton proceeded away from the encounter. Don't turn your back on a moose. Do not turn your back on a moose. Meese. Said moose then charged Mr. Eaton, hit the snowmobile in the handlebars, sending it and Mr. Eaton into a tree at approximately 35 miles an hour. Do you have any idea how strong that animal has to be? His son, Jacob, then charged the moose, scaring it away. Okay, it's giving. Stop charging the moose. He was rushed to the hospital, broken pelvis, 4 broken ribs. Crazy. He's currently home recovering, but obviously he cannot adequately participate in his own defense because he's on a lot of pain meds. Please, 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 can we continue this trial? Now that I just had to air my client's business out to everybody to get this granted? Yes, because you got rocked by a dinosaur. But when the trial did happen, guess who beat the charges? Our Meese confronter. Congratulations. Can't beat the moose, but I did beat my case.
Welcome back to Taco Hell. We cook it fresh, straight from the bag, baby. Hear that boil? That's the sound of flavor activation. Don't worry what's in it. We already did the thinking for you. You know you don't care anyway. Look at them go. Can't stop, won't stop. Even if it hurts, right? Uh-oh, the bell's hungry again, and it's got your name on it. Late night cravings always come back to bite ya. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Taco Hell. Open late, son. Real late.
Pretty sure I just caught the most insane truth in plain sight that I have ever caught. So the presidential seal said First Lady Melania Trump, and this was posted by the official White House page. So this is already screaming disclosure, but what's up with the eagle? So they made a point to show you the actual presidential seal. Notice the eagle has 1 head. This eagle has 2 heads, as in the Aquila of the Holy Roman Empire. And if you're unfamiliar with the Holy Roman Empire, they believed that God was giving them power over both the earth and the heavens. They were ruling and telling the people that God had given them their authority to rule how they did. It was a merged church and state. And the Aquila was a metal idol of the Roman people. Many Christians were executed because they refused to bow to the Aquila. This was seen as like treason because they viewed it as like the holy symbol at the time. So we went to her Instagram page and she wrote an autobiography. This is the cover of the autobiography. She also has a post about how people always ask her about like her nude modeling and stuff and like how she's not ashamed, and it's a video. And the first image that she shows in her explanation is of Lady Godiva, who I have blocked off, but it's a woman on a white horse. The whole story with Lady Godiva is that her husband was like an evil king that was like overtaxing the people to the point where it was unlivable for the people. And she tried to intervene for the people, and the husband was basically like, yeah, not gonna happen. That'll happen when you get on a horse and ride nude around town. So she actually did it and then was like a hero of the people, and he removed the taxes. But then after that in the video, it was the little G gods, like statues of like Apollo and like the harlot of Babylon. There's also been a lot of eagle symbolism. Like Trump did a whole photo shoot where he was holding a live eagle, and he was like posing in the same poses as Jupiter or Zeus with the eagle, because there's like popular pictures of Zeus holding an eagle.
They attempted to use metal hooks to extract Morris, but failed. The space was too tight. Oxygen was piped into the gap, and lights were set up to illuminate the scene. Drilling was considered, but ruled out due to the risk of collapse. Dynamite was never an option. As hours passed, news of the trapped boy spread nationally. Rescuers appealed for small, flexible volunteers. Nurse Evelyn Pinky Petite, just over 5 feet tall, arrived from Akron and crawled into the cave. She spent nearly 3 hours beside Morris, keeping him warm and awake. Later, experienced cave explorer Terry Brown helped set up a pulley system. Ropes were tied to secure points inside the cave, and multiple people coordinated each pull. But Morris only moved a few inches. His body was swollen, bruised, and pressed tightly between rock. By the next morning, Morris had been trapped for over 24 hours. He had received no food or water. Cold temperatures worsened his condition. Desperate for a solution, rescuers brought in 17-year-old Eagle Scout Michael Yid.
To this day, I still never understood the people that go cave diving. Also, if it's like a really tight space.
About Thailand and what their ancient history, that they all believe, what creatures lived there, how big they were. Check this out, and then we have a lot to discuss.
Watching to the end, what type of creature is this?
What's he saying? Wait a minute. If you think that looks like what you think it looks like, wait until you see this. This is Naka Cave in Thailand, which they call like ancient snake, as you can see why they would be calling it that. Now, of course, wind must have done this. Wait till I show you the next picture. But wind must have done this, and water and erosion over billions of years, right? What about this one? Because that looks like scales, but this isn't even the craziest picture yet. This is a real rock. It is not AI. It's at the park where tourists come and take pictures at Naka Cave. What the Sam Dam does that look like? And it'd be one thing if like there was a rock that kind of looked like it had scales, but it's very strange that it's so curved as well. I know, right? Erosion. Well, people say the same thing, erosion, about Devil's Tower, which we know, I don't know if that was from erosion. So the question is, ancient snakes that turned to stone? Like, you don't know, man. Giants existed. Titans existed, which are like giants. So who's to say there weren't giant snakes? But the question is, why didn't it decompose? Why did it turn? Why did it petrify? How did that happen? Like, there's something we don't quite understand here. Is it like Medusa? If you look at Medusa, you turn to stone. Was there some type of thing we don't know? That was a technology or some type of power that froze this snake? Like maybe a guy like defeated this snake, this giant evil snake. Maybe he defeated it with some spell. Come on. Now, the one thing about the ancients, seemingly almost all of them had their pineal glands fully activated, and they were much more capable mentally and spiritually than today when we're chugging fluoride and eating GMOs. It's shocking. Speaking of, we are giving away free superfoods today. The chalk lit powder. This is
in the 1930s, notorious dictator Joseph Stalin began deporting people that he viewed as threats to the regime. Now, at first, that was just political opponents, and he rounded up thousands of those. But over time, Stalin just started rounding up anybody he didn't like. And so as more and more people were deported, Stalin needed a place to put them. The option he settled on was sending these people to Siberia, because it was thousands of miles away from civilization, and the way he saw it is they wouldn't be a threat to the regime anymore because they'd be too busy just trying to survive. Eventually, millions of people were deported to Siberia to fend for themselves, and many people died in the process. But the worst fate of anybody deported to Siberia has to be the roughly 7,000 people that were sent to Nazino Island off the western side of Siberia. In May of 1933, the first 5,000 deportees that would be sent to Nazino Island arrived on its shores. Their Soviet guards had promised them a ration of flour, but for the first 4 days they refused to give it to them, and another 295 people died. And to make matters worse, after a couple of days, another almost 2,000 people were shipped out to this island. And so by the time the guards actually took their boats into shore to give the flour to these people, they were starving to death, and they rushed the boats to try to steal the flour, and the guards began shooting at them, took the flour, and went back out to the water. And so Nazino Island completely devolved into chaos. Almost immediately, cannibalism became a thing, and there were these roving gangs of people that were the strongest and fittest of the island who would just go around and murder the weak and eat them. One local woman who would make an annual trip to Nazino Island before there were people being deported there made her annual trip and was shocked to see all these people on this island that normally had no one there. And she said from her boat she watched this group of people run up on this woman, drag her to a tree, they tied her to the tree, and then began cutting off pieces of her while she was alive and eating it right in front of her. And then after the group had left, the woman who was tied to the tree was still alive, and what looked like her husband comes over, tries to untie her, he tries to save her, but there's nothing he can do, and she dies in his arms. Another local who managed to save a woman from Nazino Island, she got her into her house and she sat her down, and she noticed that the backs of her legs were all bandaged up, and she asked her what was going on with the backs of her legs, and she undid her dressing, and her calf muscles on her legs were gone. Someone had cut them off and eaten them. Of the nearly 7,000 people that were sent to Nazino Island, only 2,000 remained at the end of the first month they were there. And in fact, when word got out to Stalin that this island had become Cannibal Island, he actually shut it down and moved the remaining 2,000 deportees to another labor camp where unfortunately many of them died as well.
This is a toilet from almost 200 years ago. Today we dug it up in search of buried treasure. It was full of this wet, muddy substance, but follow along because we dug it up anyway. Just 7 feet underground we found our first bottle. It was only a ketchup bottle from the 1920s, but I knew it had to get older the deeper we got. Buried in the mud nearby, I spotted another bottle sticking out. When I pulled it up, I was unpleasantly surprised to see yet another ketchup bottle from the 1920s. We didn't dig a hole this deep just to find nothing. Then we found something awesome. In the pile of dirt that we had thrown out, there was this beautiful spoon that was perfectly preserved. I wonder why this lasted so long. As we kept digging though, the finds started to get older. We found this milk bottle, and then down in the mud I spotted something. It was another bottle sticking out, but this time it was older. Unfortunately, it seems that this pit may have been cleaned out by people in the 1800s, known as honey dippers. They were usually poor or disadvantaged people that were paid to get in the hole and scoop all the poop out. How much would I have to pay you to do that job? Clearly I do it for free. At the very bottom of the hole, we found nothing else. So now you see I don't always find the best stuff.
I found it. I have been looking all over for this video, you guys, because I want to know once and for all if you think this is CGI or not. What we have here is a camera set up outside of an apartment building facing the building in Moscow, Russia in 2014. In the middle of the night, the camera captures this right here is allegedly Slender Man as he tries to sneak into this building to presumably steal the soul of a victim. I remember this video from back in the day, you guys. It always creeped me out. It's definitely, you know, shot on a potato. It's blurry, it's a little shaky. But yeah, I don't know, it's a cool video. I always like this one. Take a look and let me know your thoughts.
Definitely not Slenderman, because Slenderman is a game, and a game can't translate to real life, but I'll definitely take that with a grain of salt. But if that was real, that would be so scary.
You drank 70 cups of coffee. The amount of caffeine could easily kill you.
First of all, those were half cups, and not only were those half cups, you didn't even show the final result. He just said wrong, just black screen.
April 28th of 2023, Samantha and Eric, their wedding was held on Folly Beach in South Carolina. About 100 of their closest friends and family, I mean, some of them lived in the area, some of them flew in to celebrate with the couple, and the whole wedding was a blast. Samantha's sister Mandy baked the wedding cake, and I feel like the wedding cake is symbolic of if a wedding is fun. The only thing that all the guests noticed though, Samantha and Eric are like in their own little world. They cannot keep their eyes off of each other the entire time. If someone dropped a wedding cake, a bottle of red wine on Samantha's wedding dress, and like the DJ's power booth went out, it feels like the couple wouldn't even have been phased. So the memorable night, it ends with every guest being passed one of those sparklers that you use at the beach. You light one end and it starts sparkling. So every guest would light one up, and they created this archway. They would hold it up in the air, created this arch above the couple's head, so they had this aisle to walk out of their wedding ceremony in. And they were gonna go and sit in their golf cart that was waiting for them outside. It had a sign on the golf cart, just married. The two were holding hands under the sparklers that are held above their heads, and the couple would be driven back to their Airbnb by two of their family members. So there'd be 4 people on this golf cart, and it's gonna be the start of their new lives as a couple, as newlyweds. As the golf cart starts driving off, the couple could see everyone waving their sparklers, waving their hands, cheering for the couple. Samantha looked into Eric's eyes and she said, "I want this day to last forever." Those would be Samantha's last words to Eric. 20 minutes later, the golf cart would be lying smashed on its side, and Samantha Miller would be found dead in her wedding dress.
So I guess in her head, technically that day did end up lasting forever.
Did you know the image of the white Jesus the world worships today was based on a real man? Not the Son of God, but the son of a pope. In the late 1400s, Pope Alexander VI, one of the most corrupt popes in history, wanted to reshape the face of holiness. He chose his own son, Caesar Borgia, a ruthless Italian noble known for murder and incest, to be painted as Jesus Christ. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo were ordered or paid to replace the original black depictions of Christ and the Israelites with pale European faces. From churches to cathedrals, from Bibles to paintings, the image spread like wildfire across Europe, and the world believed it. They erased the true Israelites, dark-skinned people with woolly hair, and replaced them with their own reflection. So the next time you see that familiar pale face on a stained glass window, remember, it wasn't divine inspiration. It was a political rebranding. The Son of God didn't change. The artists did.
Let me know what you guys think. Like, do you think Jesus was white? Do you think he was brown? Or do you think he was just straight up black?
So it turns out this is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And yes, all of these photos and videos are 100% real. This used to be a very common thing during World War I, World War II, very traumatic events. But what people didn't realize is that this still happens today. Known as the 1,000-yard stare or 1,000-patient stare, it gets this name from what those people's eyes are saying, as it looks like their eyes are just looking thousands of miles off into the distance with no thought behind them. It's pretty much a form of shell shock, which I'm sure you all know what that is. What causes it is by seeing something extremely sudden and traumatic, like in war, where you may see horrendous things right in front of you. It's basically being in emotional shock that puts your body into this state where you just basically cannot function. Probably heard stories of all the victims from World War I and II that had shell shock and were treated so badly. Back then we had no idea what this was, and we just did not know what to do with these people. But as I say, there are recent examples of this even happening in the Middle East at the moment, and with regular people who aren't in war but seeing traumatic events and actually getting cases similar. Have a much better healthcare system that can help these people and treat people in a different way now, but it doesn't make it any less scary.
Told you not to leave the girls in the car. How many times have I told you? In July of 2024, Christopher Schultes left his daughter in the car running, parked outside. They had just returned from an appointment and she was sleeping, and he did not want to have to wake her. The car was left in park but still running. Originally, Christopher said that she'd only been out there for around 30 minutes, but later footage revealed that that was not even kind of true. She'd actually been out there for over 3 hours, and because of a timer that's in place in the car, it quit running after 30 minutes. They lived in Arizona, and the temperature that day reached 109 degrees. When Christopher's wife returned home from work that day around 4 o'clock, she started looking for her kids to say hi and realized that one of them was missing. Christopher was also surprised and started searching the house with her. But then, after a while, he came to the shocking realization that he'd never gotten her out of the car. They immediately called 911 and his wife started CPR. With Chris begging the 911 operator to hurry up, they finally arrived. By the time they got there, though, their 2-year-old daughter Parker was not breathing and not responsive. The mom got in the ambulance with her so that she could take the ride to the hospital with her daughter. From the ambulance, she texted Chris and said, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" After countless attempts to stabilize her, they lost her. She had a heat stroke and she did not come back to them. But then, shortly after this, Chris starts acting really odd.
In 1731, the King of Sweden was given an incredible gift. His very own lion, who he loved and totally spoiled. Unfortunately, it died young. After a couple of sad years, the king finally decides that he wants to memorialize the lion, so he sends its pelt and the bones to a world-renowned taxidermist. Now, unfortunately, the taxidermist that he sent it to had never actually seen a lion before, and it's 1731, so he can't just Google it. But he doesn't want to let the king down or jeopardize his reputation, so he's like, yeah, send me its bones and pelt. I'll whip you up a lion.
Dude, I've never heard Mr. Ballin laugh. That's actually funny.
The Illuminati. Of course we put the truth in fictional movies so that when people tell the truth, you're gonna say the magic words. That's from a movie. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we're run by shape-shifting lizard people. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we normalize pedophilia amongst the elites. We use it as blackmail. That's how we get them to do what we want. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we caused all the talk about the Earth's shape. Flat, round, doesn't matter. It's neither of those. We just gave you those two options to confuse you. Keep you further away from the truth. I'm not gonna tell you what it is though. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we invent diseases. Without diseases, we can't make money off the treatments. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we had a secret meeting to make chaos profitable through the prison system. Why do you think all the best rappers rap about the worst shit? All we do is free the rappers that are gonna continue to rap about drugs and violence, and we keep the ones that think they're fucking Malcolm X. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we target black people. For whatever reason, God likes them, and our leader is the devil. You know how that goes. We just gotta do what he said. I'm the Illuminati. Of course NASA is a scam. If people thought they had other planets to go to, they're just gonna let us destroy this one. I'm the Illuminati. Of course we control the internet. If someone was to jump out of their body and start telling people what we're really up to, we would just suppress them. Now, if this person already had a lot of followers and the video somehow got out there, then we kill them.
Can you hear it? That hiss. That's the sound of happiness and soul.
They said it refreshes you. But look closer. Pure syrup, acid, and caffeine brewed in joy, bottled in guilt. We wash the floors with me, you know. Melt rust, strip paint, yet you drink me with dinner. Aluminum, corn syrup, phosphoric acid, the holy trinity of thirst. You wouldn't clean your toilet with this stuff, but you drink it every day. Drink happiness, feel the burn, let it bubble in your blood, carbonate your soul, until there's nothing left but the fizz.
Yes, hello, it's Spooky Lake Month where we're doing 31 days of haunted hydrology, and today we need to talk about a deadly water park in New Jersey. Action Park opened in 1978 and consisted of 3 smaller parks, Motor World, Alpine Center, and Water World. This was one of the first modern-day water parks to open in the United States. However, it quickly garnered the nickname Traction Park or Class Action Park because of the carnage that took place here. The park was notorious for underage and undertrained staff, with drunk guests and rides that were designed with more intuition than actual engineering. At least 6 people are known to have died here, with many more leaving with injuries, lawsuits, or lifelong trauma. The Water World aspect of Action Park is known to have caused the most injuries and death. The most infamous ride might have been Cannonball Loop, which was an enclosed water slide that had a physics-defying loop near the bottom. Test dummies came out missing limbs, and park employees had to be bribed with $100 just to give it a try. Now just imagine going down this slide in pitch black darkness, and when you hit that curve, your legs are suddenly above your head and you're flying around it. People were coming out of the other side of the ride with lacerations and bruising. And not everybody made it around this actual loop, some crashing backwards into the fiberglass at full speed. However, when some riders started turning up with gashes on their body, they had to go into the water slide to figure out the cause. They discovered that previous riders had had their teeth knocked out and they were lodged in the walls of the water slide, then slicing open the next riders that came through.
Sounds like a very winnable lawsuit to me.
This woman, Roseanne Barr, on Tucker Carlson's show, said something so harrowing. I thought she was joking or something. She is a comedian. She seems to be serious. Listen to what she said.
You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
It's not just the dogs and the cats. They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood. They do, Tucker. Stop staring at me like that.
You're freaking me out, man. Because you spent your life in the entertainment business, so I think you have some authority on this.
So many kids that I was in mental institutions with over the years, they are all from those cults.
Now, someone suggested that something about her blowing the whistle is why she got like her show canceled and she's kind of like outcast from the entertainment industry now. Though, like Tucker said, she does kind of have some amount of authority on this, given that she was in the industry for so long. But surely that can't be the case. I mean, we do know that there's movies like Monsters, Inc., where evil monsters power their city from the trauma energy they get from children. I mean, that's just... Is that a stretch, though? Or is it hiding something in plain sight? Either way, I know this is very obviously dark and like shocking and not fun to think about, but it needs to be exposed. If anything of the sort is going on, which she's not the first person to say, something like this is happening. What did Charlie Sheen say again? He said they're doing some wicked stuff in there too. And what did Nickelodeon just get exposed doing? And also, what does that one island in the Caribbean happen to be the same shape as the Nickelodeon logo? That's shocking. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more.
On Valentine's Day 2017 in Chicago, a woman pulled out her phone and went live on Facebook. She's sitting in the car, smiling, her boyfriend is driving, and in the back seat is her 2-year-old nephew, Levante White. The video feels normal, they're rapping to music, laughing, just driving. But then, gunshots, pop, pop, pop. The phone drops, the screen goes black, and all you hear is screaming. The woman, bleeding from her stomach, picks the phone back up. She's crying, covered in blood, yelling, Levante's dead. Her boyfriend had been the target. He was a known gang member, ambushed in broad daylight. But Levante, he was just a baby, and he was shot in the head right there in the back seat. The entire murder was live streamed. Dozens of people watch it happen in real time, and for days no one was caught. But then on February 18, police arrested 26-year-old Devon Swan. He was charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder after witnesses and forensic evidence tied him to the murder. Guys, may Levante rest in peace. Poor little guy had nothing to do with it.
As the slab fell, it pushed him forward, shoving him clear of its full weight just before it hit the ground. If he had been even a few inches further back, he would have been pinned against the floor, possibly killed instantly. However, they were still in deep trouble. The dust coating their throats was suffocating them, and since they were trapped with nowhere to go, the anxiety crept in. Rogers tried to push against the rock, but there was no space to move, trapped on all sides. His heartbeat pounded in his ears, drowning out everything else. Jack shifted slightly, trying to find room, but the cave walls pressed in. His breathing was fast, uneven, and the more he tried to slow it, the worse it got. Their bodies were pinned, unable to shift more than an inch, the rock sealing them in like a coffin. Panic crept in, the dizzying, suffocating fear of being trapped with no escape. They felt claustrophobic, and the anxiety made the nightmare even worse. But soon they realized panic was the enemy in tight spaces. They started telling themselves they'll get out of it and encouraged each other to sit tight and believe in their companions. The others rushed to assess the situation, and the team sprang into action. Caving rescues were notoriously difficult. Any attempt to move large debris in a confined space risked triggering further collapses. Every decision had to be made carefully.
Do cave divers ever have like an instinct of self-preservation? Because I'm like, dude, if you go into a space super tight where it feels like you only have like an inch to move, why would you keep going? Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe go in, look around for a second and come out, but don't be like going deeper and deeper and deeper, because like obviously eventually it's just gonna only keep getting tighter. I never understood that. Like, what do they expect to go in and come out and they see like a huge ass like undiscovered cave? I don't know. If you're a cave diver, dude, just be careful with stuff like that, because you don't want to end up like those kids, trapped, suffocated, can't move, and panicked.
Thank you all for watching this here